silver is cheaper than any other asset because it's just not kept up with, even returned to its 1980 high, whereas everything else from its 1980 high is far higher. So, Mike, what do you make of that? What's your reaction? Is silver the cheapest asset in the world?
Yeah, well, one of the cheapest. I think, I don't know if you don't have computer chips in here. That's something that has gotten cheaper, but that's because of technological development. Computer chips were in their infancy back then. Other than that, I mean, I challenge the viewers to try and find things that are cheaper today than they were in 1980. Everything is about 10 times more expensive due to inflation of the currency supply. And silver being still selling at a discount. I mean, it's basically, it's close to half of its 1980 price. That's like insane. And we're using more and more and more silver. And then on top of that, the discoveries that we've had as far as the size of the deposits and so on, the discoveries are waning at a time when demand is increasing, and it's still below its 1980 price. It's insane. When you read the prospectus and the 10K filings for SLV and GLD, the big ETFs that exist for gold and silver, they're both written, and these are written by armies of the world's best attorneys, because these are the biggest banks in the world doing this. And they have, if you really look at them closely with an eye toward, how could these guys be cheating me? How could they be setting it up so that they can defend if they fail to perform as this prospectus is saying? How could this be written so that they will not lose in court? And you'll see punctuations that don't seem to make sense to you. You'll see sentences where, if you analyze them, it either means the opposite of what you think it means the first time you read it, or it means two things, or it means nothing at all. And it's just all through their prospectus and their 10K filings. And so I've never trusted these things. Shorting them, they've got decent short positions on them. And I warned about this in my book. There was one particular sentence in their prospectus for SLV that that really hit me, that, wow, these are just shares and they have nothing to do with physical silver necessarily. It said that in certain cases of market illiquidity conditions, the price of the iShares may diverge from the price of silver and fall. If it's silver, how can it diverge from the price of silver? It can't. That's just not possible. So, Eric Sprott has done a very good job, I believe, of creating a closed-end fund. And a closed-end fund is they buy a specific amount of silver, and then they sell shares of that silver. And just through normal trading, it either trades at a premium or a discount to the underlying asset, the silver that's in there. And when the premium gets up high enough, they go out and buy a whole bunch more, and they issue more shares to go with what they've just bought, and that brings the price back down near the price of silver. And so, but they're only issuing the number of shares that they have with the I just trust Eric Sprott's thing a lot more. However, having said all of that, the best thing, I believe, is to just own your own physical gold and silver. And if you don't want to take delivery of it, I mean, it makes it a little easier to be able to buy it with a ticker symbol on a brokerage platform. But it's just as easy to go to a website of a good, trusted precious metals online dealer, create an account, and buy it there. And, I was the first one to create storage accounts that were third-party storage accounts, where it's being stored by Brinks or another brand name of vault, trusted names. Brinks is more than 100 years old. I think it's more than 150 years old at this point. And they've got a motto: nobody has ever lost a penny with Brinks. So if you want gold or silver that is as liquid as it is on these trading platforms, but it's all real gold and silver in your name, it's not shares in a fund, I just think it's best to do it through a precious metals deal. Now, there is, however, an old saying, the bull climbs the stairs and the bear jumps out the window. Typically, whenever there's a crash in something, it happens much faster than the gains. It takes a long time to make gains, takes a very short time to give them back. The biggest one-day crash in history globally was the 1987 stock market crash. And that really didn't have anything to do with manipulation other than some people think that it could be the very early black box computer trading that helped to aggravate that crash. But I can tell you that the one day that was manipulated here is that green up candle that says manipulation. It's not necessarily manipulated by the Wall Street silver crowd or people rushing into silver. It got capped so that it wouldn't pierce that $30 level. If it had closed above $30, the technicals say that it could have run a lot further, and it probably would have attracted a whole lot more currency into that market, pushing it much, much higher.
Before we continue, help us by smashing that YouTube like button and subscribe now to this channel. This shows the algorithm that you value the information, and it helps us spread this message. Sharing is caring. Please like and subscribe now. Thank you. And now let's continue.
But you can push it back down by adding on paper shorts. Now, they're trying to do a short squeeze on the commercial shorts, but I think that some people don't realize that not all of these shorts are naked. Much of the commercial short position is because somebody is sitting on silver somewhere, and these big commercial banks are doing this on behalf of one of their customers. They're selling short to neutralize the price. You own silver and you owe silver, and when the price goes up, they basically do this and they net out to the same price. That's the reason that a dealer can buy silver at $15 and sell it at 30 and make a 1% spread, or they can buy it at 30 and sell it at 15 and still make a 1% spread. This is just normal market activity. So the commercials actually should have, they should be net short, and they should, that those short positions, like I said, they're not all naked. But I can pretty much guarantee you that on that day where silver took off because a whole bunch of people wanted to buy it, buying something is legitimate. It's honest. Short selling and short selling stuff that isn't covered, that where you're selling silver that doesn't exist, that to me is sort of, morally iffy. So, but behind this article, there's a Bloomberg law.com article that refers to the potential of the retail investors being investigated, the Wall Street silver crowd being investigated for manipulating the silver market. And what that would lead to is a bunch of new rules that tip the scales even further toward the status quo, the big currency people, the people that sort of control things, the brokerage houses, the big banks. And I don't want to see that happen. But this is just an excuse. I think they're investigating the wrong crowd. Between this and the Wall Street bets crowd that did the GameStop short squeeze, I think that the regulators may find some way to limit the ability of the small investor to play on the same level playing field with the big houses. However, you're getting, when you start dealing in options and futures and you're using leverage, you're getting into an area of professionals. And when amateurs come into the area where professionals run the game, they usually get cleaned out. I mean, GameStop was a spectacular spike, but then it fell. Who were the owners of the shares when it peaked? and who was short when it fell back down. And my guess is that there were more professionals that were short making big gains as it fell. And the big losers were probably the retail community, small investors trying to make a sudden killing. And so, however, I want to say that the Wall Street silver people, this is a smart crowd. They are very well informed, and they're spreading this education, this information among a lot of people. And so my hat is off to them. They're doing a great job. So hang in there with it. Just know that this silver thing, the silver story, it's a longer term thing. And the real fireworks are going to come when there's monetary demand, and that comes with a crisis. And there is always another crisis somewhere around the corner. So it's something that is inevitable someday. You just have to hang in there. So short-term, get-rich-quick currency that comes into the market, and then if it doesn't happen, it leaves, that could actually do some damage to this. There's been a lot of inflows into the silver arena because of the Reddit crowd and the information that's spreading. But a lot of those inflows are this short-term currency. And if the commercials go short on top of that to suppress the price, and then the get-rich-quick currency in there, when those people get tired and they decide to leave, there's outflows, and that's when the price falls. That's when the commercials end up winning, and we just have to wait longer. But I just want everybody that's in this silver rush to know that this is inevitable. There will be far, far higher prices for silver one day. I believe that it comes with a currency crisis, a financial crisis, a banking crisis. And when it does come, having silver is not only potentially enormous profits, but it's protection.
What to do in such a situation? Inform yourself and keep your financial education strong. We from the Compact Group offer our loyal subscribers a free educational portal with first-hand monetary, financial, and economic knowledge. Enter our invite-only Insider Club by clicking the link below. You will get access to first-class information far earlier than the rest. We have prepared a special deal for all our members where you can access a giant pool of Robert Kiyosaki's financial wisdom for just $1. To find out more, simply click the link below and join our Insider Club absolutely free. But there is more you can and should do. Build up several streams of income. More and more people realize that they have to take their future in their own hands, but they don't know how and where to start. We from Compact offer our Insider Club members unique opportunities. Strengthen your financial muscle and get the edge. Click the link below. Become part of our free Insider Club. No financial obligations. But there's one important thing you have to know. You have to become active. So do it now. Become active and see you on the other side.